welcome. Let's try to solve another Leetcode problem 2121, intervals between identical elements. So for this problem, we are giving a zero index array of n integers. So the interval between two elements in array is defined as the absolute difference between their indices. So for example, the interval between this two and this two, it is the absolute of 0 minus 4, it is 4. Yeah, but there is also a definition. So we're gonna return an array intervals of length n, where intervals I is the sum of intervals between array I and its element in array with the same value in array. This is very important. So for this 2, we need to find all those 2's and we need to find the index. So according to this kind of description and according to the return, we should know that we're gonna turn this array into an adjacency list. Something is like a graph. So for example, let's just use the second example, 10, 5, 10, 10. Yeah, if we were to use a number 10, we need to find all the indexes. So for example, 10 has the index 0, 2, and 3. So this is straightforward because we only need to count the same numbers. If it is not the same, for example, this 5, it doesn't matter. Currently we only need to check this number 10. So what about the distance? So this is the first number. Currently it is index 0, 2, and 3. So what we're gonna calculate? How can we calculate the final result? We're going to calculate the first number. So for example, 0. 0 to the distance of 2, 0 to the distance of 3, it's going to be 5. Now, what about this 2? Do we need to calculate 2 to 0, 2 to 3? We can, but that's going to be O(n) square. Time complexity, we need to solve it in O(n) time. So this means we cannot use brute force to check one by one. We can check them all together. This means for the first number, we're going to check them one by one. We got a distance of 5, but for the second number, we just need to use O(n) time, so that is enough. So the time complexity is going to become O(n) instead of O(n) square. But how can we calculate it? So before, the distance is 0 to 2, 0 to 3, it is 5. Now, we're going to shift the number. Currently, we're going to use the index as the number from 0 to 2. Yeah. So this means after shifting from 0 to 2, what about the distance to the right side? So before it is 0 to 3, now it becomes 2 to 3. It means the distance decreased from the right side. And what about the distance from the left side? From the left side, the distance is increased. So how can we make the calculation? Yeah, so we're gonna use a plus. This is the original distance from the first number 0. Now we're going to shift to the second number. So this distance is 5, so we're going to use it. Now we're going to check what's going to be the increase. So it's going to be 0 minus 2, 2 minus 0. It's going to be, yeah, let's just make it 2 minus 0. So this is going to be the distance. So from the left side, we're going to check how many distance of 0 minus 2. How many times from the left side. Yeah, so here we're going to use a time. So from the left side, this is the first number 0 to 2, 2 to 0. We didn't see anything actually, but we need to check if there is any other number at the left side. There's nothing. Yeah, so this means we're going to use index 1 minus, we're going to use index 1 minus 1. So this is from the left side. Yeah, we're going to increase some distance. And then from the right side, we're going to decrease some distance, so we're going to use a minus. So from the right side, how many numbers? There's only one number, so we're going to use n. n is the length of the array, it's going to be 3. So here, going to minus n, which is going to be 3, minus the index I, and minus 1. So this means from the right side, there's one number. So let's just calculate the final result. It's going to be 5 plus 2, 1 minus 1, 0. 3 minus 1 minus 1, it is 1. This is 1. Yeah, and this is a negative number because 1 minus 1 minus the final result. So it's going to be 5 minus 2 times 1. 5 minus 2 times 1. Yeah, let's just check it. This is a 0, this is a minus, this is a negative 2, and 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. So this means for the next distance for this number 10, it's going to be 3. And similarly, we're going to use the same formula to calculate it. Yeah, as you can see, the first is 5, and the second is going to be 3. And actually, this is a very popular formula in Leetcode. If we were to shift from one person to another person, we don't need to use another O(n) time. We just need to use O1 time, and this is just the formula. Now we just need to turn such kind of a problem into that formula, and we can solve it directly. So we're going to prepare a graph. It's going to be default dict, and it's going to be an adjacency list. Now we're going to check all the numbers inside of the array, but we also need to have the index. So for in, enumerate the array, and we want to put the number as k and the index as values inside an array. Now let me just print out this kind of a graph. You're going to check what happens from here. Yeah, let's just check the second example. So inside of the second example, we can say for this number 10, we're going to have the index, and for this 5, we're going to have the index. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. Now we just need to use the index array instead of the k. So for v in d dot values, so we're going to use this index array, and we're going to prepare a final answer. The answer array is going to be 0 times the length of the array. Now let's just check the first result. I'm going to use a result. So the first result going to be all the distance to the first index currently inside of this array, all the numbers to this number. Yeah. So we're going to use the sum vi minus v0 for I in range length of v. So we're gonna start from 1 to length of v. So currently this result is all the values accumulated for the first number. So this is something like a brute force, because for the first number we need to check the distance to this one, distance to this one. But after the first number, we don't need to use the brute force. We can directly use O1 time to solve it. So this is exactly why we can solve it in O(n) time. Now we have our first number, and we can put it inside the answer. So answer gonna be answer v0. We're gonna update the value. It's gonna be the result. Yeah. Now we're gonna prepare a new result. New result is gonna be the next number. So this new result gonna be from this number 0. We're gonna shift to this number 2. So we're gonna check this number 2. So the new result going to be result plus a value. So this value going to be the current. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Because I want to. Because I want to check the next number. I think I still need to have another for loop. So for I in range, I still need to have another for loop, because I want to check the next number. So for I in range the length of the array, but I'm gonna starting from 1. So this is the first result, and then from here I need to use another for loop to check all the other numbers. But this is inside of the for loop. I don't need to use another nested for loop. I just need to use O1 time. Actually, for this one, even there are 2 for loops, but it is still O(n) time. We need to understand that, because inside each of the array, this is just a subarray, and the sum of all those values of v gonna become the length of n. So here even we have two for loop, actually it is still O in time, because sum of all the lengths of the v gonna become a length of the n. So this is why it is still O in time. Yeah, but inside the for loop we cannot use another one, otherwise it's gonna become O n squared. Yeah. Now we're gonna use this value minus the previous value. So current value is vi, it is bigger than the previous value because we currently are using the index. It's going to be vi minus 1 times the formula. So this is vi, this is vi, and this is vi minus 1. 2 minus 0, it is 2. Yeah, and we're going to continue to use the formula. It's going to be I minus 1 minus the length of the array v minus I minus 1. Yeah, so I will not explain why I'm gonna use this kind of formula because I already explained it inside of the examples. So this we're gonna just use this kind of formula to solve the problem. Yeah, this means if we have this number, if we shift from 0 to 2, so this is the 2 vi minus vi minus 1. And from the left side, we're going to check how many numbers, but it is not starting from this 0, because 0 to 2, 2 to 0, it's the same. We just need to check this number, so it is I minus 1. So I is 1 minus 1, it is still 0. This means from the left side, there's a 0. And what about the right side? We're going to decrease, so we're going to use the minus 3 minus this I minus 1 minus 1, it's going to become 1. Yeah. So after updating the new result, we need to put it inside of the answer. So the answer is vi gonna equal to this new result. And after that, we're gonna assign the new result to our result because we're gonna use this result to calculate for the next time. Yeah. And finally, we're gonna return the answer. I think maybe the difficult part is only about here. Actually, I think there are at least more than 5 or 10 problems which use this kind of a formula. It is a very popular pattern. I think we need to learn about it, just a little bit mathematics skills. Now let me just run it to check. As you can see, it works. Now let me just submit it to check. As you can see, it passed for all testing cases, and it's pretty fast, and the time complexity is ON. Now, we're going to use this kind of code to solve a similar problem. Actually, it is exactly the same problem, 2615. So let's just go to 2615, and let me just copy and paste. Yeah, so here, this is the number. So we're going to use the array to copy this number, and then we're going to just submit the code. Because only description is different. Actually, it is the same question. Now let me just submit it. As you can see, it works and it's pretty fast, and this is also all in time. You see, the only difference is the description. We are giving this array nums, and there exists an array of length, nums length, where array I is the sum of I minus j over j, such that nums j gonna equal to nums I and j not equal to I. Yeah, as you can see, we are calculating the sum of absolute values of the index if it is the same number. If there's no such j, we're gonna set array I to be 0. So this is what we prepared. We're gonna set it to 0. If there's a distance, we're gonna put it inside of the answer. Actually, you see this description is gonna be much easier than the previous descriptions. You see the previous descriptions, it is a little bit difficult, but the reading is nearly the same. It is just less than 1800. This means for such a kind of a question, we still have the opportunity to solve it, and it is just some dynamic programming skills, and actually we just use a formula. I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.